2026 is already right around the corner. It's coming up. It's like in a few days, actually, and you should already be planning. And I know what you're thinking. You're sitting here looking back at the calendar and looking over the last year and realizing that you did not get as much done as you wanted to get done. And that's because your habits weren't set up right. Maybe you had a checklist on your phone or something, but then you look back and you realize that that checklist just seemed to be growing and growing and growing, and there was no way you were ever going to get that done. I'm here today to help you with 3 habits that can make sure that 2026 is the best year it can be. And you're going to love all of the things that we're going to talk about, so let's get into it. So habit number 1 is about strategy and productivity. So this is called the 45-15 deep work block. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're basically going to focus this year, or actually next year, on sprints. You're going to do 45 minutes of work and 15 minutes of rest. What this allows you to do is you get deep into something for 45 minutes and then you take a 15-minute break. You go for a walk, or you just go on to something else, maybe read a book, do some planning for what you're going to do in your next 45. But this is really about relieving some of that mental anxiety, that mental stress that can build up over time from not getting anything done. Now, how are you going to time this? You're going to time this on a very simple timer. I use my watch for this, but you can also buy a little oven timer and set that up if you want, or they make, really cool like dial ones. However you want to do it, it's important that you focus on the sprint throughout the day, 45 minutes, 15 minutes, and just do those until everything in your to-do list is actually completed. Now, if you're not 100% certain on what your most important task is, we're going to go into that a little bit more, or you can go back and watch a video that I made about your daily review. This helps you build a checklist of how you should go throughout your day. The next tactic that I'm going to teach you is actually the communication and sales habit. Now, I'm going to call this one, what's the next step? What I want you to do is I want you to constantly, and in every meeting, in every interaction that you have, I want you to be asking yourself, what is the next step? And I don't ever want you to leave an interaction, and specifically a business meeting, without understanding what the next step is and who has that next step. So this is actually more of a larger tactic that you can use to expand into every business. So if you're constantly keeping notes on what the next step is or where you should go from here, obviously you're going to constantly be moving forward and moving forward and moving forward. But I really want you to bring this into your communication. I really want you to bring this into even email communication. There should always be a next step category. You should always be thinking to myself, okay, what's the next step? And I want you to verbalize that to the person inside of this, even if it's just a wrap session on, okay, well, when should we meet next time? So a really good example of this would be if you sit down with your accountant and you're trying to figure out what it is that the next phase of this iteration is going to be, or maybe there's some forms that need to be filled out or something like that. I want you to have in the calendar, before you leave that meeting, the time and date that you're going to do the next step, whether it's you're going to do it or he's going to owe you something or vice versa. It's really about planning. It's about an impact that you're going to have later. I promise you, if you keep this up in 2026, you're going to watch things get done. So topic number 3 that we're going to talk about today is actually a little more self-help, a little more reflection, and we're going to call it the Daily Debrief. Here's what I want you to do, is I want you to take time at the end of the day. Ben Franklin actually started this in me. I heard a story that he used to do this every day. He would physically clean up the area where he was working at the end of the day, and he would physically say, I'm done. And I think that's a great mental break. I think it's a great way to clean up the space, put everything back so that it's ready to go the next morning. And I think that it's a great way to kind of get the stage set. But I want you to take it one step further. I want you to take some time and reflect on what you did that day. I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. Number 1, what went well today? Like, what did I do that was great? And then I also want you to say, what were the major roadblocks that I hit? Because I want you to be able to sort of name these things. You don't have to solve them. This isn't a solving process. This is really just naming it. You're just talking to yourself and you're saying, today I ate well, I drink a lot of water, and I got a lot done on my to-do list. What didn't go well? Well, I kept letting Susan come in and interrupting my day, so I didn't get as much done as I probably could have if I would have balanced my time a little bit better, or set the expectations a little bit better with Susan. So this isn't about solving problems, just to be clear. This is actually about making sure that the problems are named. Now, what's going to happen here is, over time, as you're looking through this, or if you're keeping notes, you're going to remember and keep thinking like, wait, there seems to be a pattern forming here. The same roadblocks constantly seem to be picking up and stepping up in my day. When you start to see those patterns, that's whenever you can devote specific time to building a system to get yourself away from those particular problems. It's super important that you keep notes. I physically keep a notebook on every day that I'm doing, and I go through and I do a daily review every day. And I can tell you from experience that this really helps me make the right decisions in my day. It really helps me understand what it is that I didn't get done and what that I did get done. And I've improved so much in 2025 doing this for an entire year. So if you implement this by December 26, you're really going to be thanking me. So that's it. I've given you 3 tips, 3 habits that you can put in place in 2026, but it's important to start small. Just grab one of these habits, just one, maybe the 45-15 rule. Grab that habit and start doing it, implement it, and see where it's at. If you're super serious about making 2026 the best year for you, I want to hear from you. Which one of these habits are you going to put in? Maybe you've got your own that you want to put in place, and you want to be the best person that you can be in business. Now, if you need some help, I'm a coach. I do that every day. You can link to my website below, and you can set up some time with me. That first hour where we're just basically building rapport and seeing if you're coachable is 100% free. I'd love to hear from you. Either way, good luck out there. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.